Welcome to the Dougie Wuggy Story Hour. Coming to you today from Montclair Elementary School in Oakland, California. Let's give it up for the Montclair Otters. Woo! So this is a story about when I was a kid, another of my famous stories about me growing up. And as some of you know from other stories, I have two brothers. I have an older brother named Jeff and a younger brother named Peter. And when my older brother, Jeff, was about 7, he was in 2nd grade, we're sitting around the dining room table after school, having dinner, and my brother says, "Mom, Dad, I have an announcement." And we're all like, okay. And my dad says, "What's your announcement?" He goes, "I want to get married." And my parents like, "What?" "I want to get married." And my mom said, "Well, yeah, I mean, one day when you're grown up, maybe you'll get married." He said, "No, I want to get married now." And my dad's like, "Oh, who do you want to marry?" And he said, "Her name is Mary." And then my dad said, "You want to marry Mary?" He said, "Yeah, I want to marry Mary." And my mom said, "Do you mean Mary Wilson?" And he said, "Yeah, I want to marry Mary Wilson." And she lived down the street, and my mom knew her mom. And she was in my brother's class. I guess he had a major crush on her. I mean, obviously, right?
Yeah.
You know, but it's a little extreme to, I mean, you can have a crush, but you want to get married? But he was super serious about it. And my mom's like, "And does she want to get married to you?" "Oh, yeah, definitely." And so he said, "Can we do it?" And they're like, "No." And then every day for like the next week, he's like, "I want to get married. I mean, he just, you know when you sometimes just really bug your parents for something?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And to the point where they get really annoyed?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, you know about that one? Yeah. I'm not recommending it, but yeah. And then finally, after like a week, my mom said, "You know what? I'm going to call Mary's mother and talk it over with her." So she gets up, she gets on the phone, she goes, "Hi, Phyllis, it's Joan Cole." "Oh, hi, Joan. Listen, Jeff keeps saying that he wants to marry your daughter." And she goes, "Oh, my goodness. I've been hearing that for a week, too. Mary wants to marry Jeff." She said, "It's driving me crazy." And my mom said, "I know, it's driving us all crazy." And then my mom said, "Maybe we should just let him get married. Just have a little play wedding in the backyard." And the other mom was like, "Yeah, I think you're right, because I can't stand it anymore. Every day it's like, I want to marry Jeff." So they made plans, and they said, "Okay, next Saturday, we'll have a wedding." My mom said, "We'll have a wedding in our backyard." And then my mom said, "I'll make some sandwiches." And then her mom said, "And I'm good at making cakes. I'll make a little wedding cake. And we'll just invite the families." And my mom said, "Okay, I'll decorate the yard." And so my mom gets off the phone. She goes, "Okay, Jeff, next Saturday." It's like, yes! Oh my gosh, we're getting married. I can't believe it. And I'm just thinking, this is so weird. This is just so crazy. I was 6, Jeff was 7, my little brother was 4. He's like, "What's going on? Jeff's getting married? What? And then my dad goes out, he buys my brother like a little wedding suit, which I thought looked really crazy. And my mom's like fixing his sandwiches and decorating the yard. I'm like, "Wow, this is really happening, huh?" And my brother's like, "Yeah, this is really happening. Get with the program, bro. This is happening. Don't be so negative about it. This is going to be the best day of my life." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think so. The best days are Christmas, birthdays, and Halloween." He goes, "Nope, your wedding day is the best day." I'm like, "Oh, brother."
No, your honeymoon.
And we had just come back from my uncle's wedding, so I think maybe he had that in his mind because it was a really nice wedding, fancy wedding and stuff. So the day of the wedding comes, my brother like takes a shower, he gets all fancy dressed in his little suit, and then he's like, you got to put on some nice clothes, Doug. You can't just come to the wedding in shorts and a t-shirt. And I'm like, okay, fine. And I put on some nicer clothes, and my little brother put on some nicer clothes, and then my brother's staring out the window, and he goes, here they come, here they come. And it was Mary. She had two sisters, and they were like the flower girls, you know, like there's a flower. And they're all dressed up, and Mary's got this really nice dress. And she had some cousins with her, and her aunts and uncles. It was like this whole wedding party. It's like 10 of them. And I'm like, wow, this is really happening. And then my brother's like, here they come. He's like, she looks so beautiful. And I'm looking at her, and I'm thinking, yeah, she does look kind of cute. And her sisters aren't too bad either. No, I'm just making that part up. But so they come in the backyard, and it's all fancy. And my mom had put flowers out. And my mom had a little portable piano, and they rolled it outside. And then they put seats out, and everyone took their seat. And then her uncle pretended like he was the priest who does the wedding. He goes, Jeff, Mary, please step forward. And they're like all shy and everything. And he goes, please stand. And they're standing there looking at each other. And he goes, okay. And then he goes through the whole wedding ceremony, just like about a minute. And he goes, okay, you may give each other a hug. And they give each other a little hug. And he goes, okay, you're play married. Not real married, just so you know. Just play married. And they're like, okay, that's fine. We're married. It's official. And then my mom brings out the food, and we eat. And then the other mom brings out the wedding cake, which was really good. I mean, really good. I ate like 4 pieces of wedding cake. I felt a little bit sick afterwards. I had to go lie down in my bed. I was like, oh, God, I ate too much wedding cake. And the wedding ends, and everything goes back to normal. And about 2 weeks later, my brother says, we're at dinner, he goes, Mom, Dad, I have an announcement. We're like, oh, brother, what is it now? My dad's like, yes, Jeff, what is it? We're splitting up. And Mom said, what? We're splitting up. We don't want to be married anymore. We decided we're too young to get married. We just want to be friends. And my mom's like, I think that's a good idea because 7 is way too young to be married. He goes, yeah, I agree. I don't know what I was thinking. And so it's like, we're just friends now. And I'm like, whew. And I told my dad, I said, Dad, I am never getting married. This is just so weird. He goes, well, when you're a grown up, you'll probably want to get married. I'm like, nope, never getting married. He goes, yeah, you probably will. I said, you want to bet? I'll bet you $10. I'm never getting married. He goes, okay. He shakes my hand. It's a bet. And many years later, I did get married. And my dad was at the wedding. And after the wedding, I took out a $10 bill from my pocket. And I said, Dad, here's your $10. He goes, what? I said, do you remember when I was 6 and Jeff got married and I bet you I would never get married? He said, I do not remember that. I said, yep, I bet you $10 and I lost the bet. So here's your $10. He said, nah, just keep it. I'm like, thanks, Dad. And that's the true story of the wedding in the backyard. Well, I should add one thing. Did Jeff ever get married? Yes, he did. He got married, and he has 2 lovely kids, and they're now grown up. He got married to Elizabeth, and and they have 2 kids, Zoe and Max. Zoe is 27 or something, 28, and Max is 25. And yeah, so it's better to wait until you grow up. And that's the story of the wedding in the backyard once again. Okay, that's it. See you next time. Bye. Say bye, everybody. Bye.